So I'm going to give you a few tips of how to end the year with a bang. So first things first, it's coming up to Christmas. It can get really, really busy. So one thing I would say, first and foremost, it can all get a bit stressful. Take time out for yourself. Because sometimes when we're thinking about our goals, our intentions, our plans, if we're very tense about them, we create a very weird energy about, when you desperately want the job and it's like, I really want it, I really want it. Sometimes we leave like these massive claw marks on our goals, and that's all we leave because we hang on to things really tightly. We want to control everything. Whereas if we relax and let go, very often what I found for myself and with clients I coach is when we just relax, sort of really center ourselves, we can really get into what it is we do want, what makes us us. And actually this is a really good time of year to do that, to reflect. Now, I'm not a massive fan of resolutions. I'm much more in favour around setting intentions of not just what you want to do, but the kind of person you want to be next year. Now, that might sound a bit weird, but maybe you've been in a job and you've been really putting on a mask about who you are at work, which is fair enough. We all have different masks we put on, but maybe you're kind of putting on that mask too much. Perhaps there's a different side to you that you haven't allowed to express itself yet. And I always think that, we're human beings, we're not human doings. So think about what you or who you want to be next year. Who do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in like a year's time or 5 years' time? Really try and imagine and step into that picture, sort of stop, put your hands here and think about it. Put your hand on your chest and your stomach and breathe into it and think about who you really want to be, but just take time out. And maybe taking time out for you is when you're taking the dogs for a walk or you're in fresh air, or maybe when you're on the treadmill. We all have different places where we can kind of release that energy and be, and for some people it is sitting still, it's meditating, it's visualizing. But think about the intentions of who you want to be next year, not just what you want to do, and release that energy. Let go of things. I'm not saying just let go so much that you don't make any efforts or actions towards your goals, but actually just relax a bit, see what comes up for you, and take this time to really start journaling down what's coming up for you in terms of what you want to do and who you want to be for next year. And very often it's good to really think about, and even if you're in a couple, you may well have a shared vision and goals as a couple, but also think about what you want for yourself as well. Make sure that you're not overcompensating on your goals, that what you want is actually what you want, there's a really good quote, just make sure your ladder is leaning against the right wall, because if you've climbed the ladder and you realise it's been leaning on the wrong wall, that means that maybe you haven't been true to yourself and the goals that you want to achieve for next year. So this is just about really releasing, letting go, and looking back over the year and thinking, do you know what? This went really, really well for me. Or maybe this was a bit of a setback. What did I learn? What would I do differently? What would I ditch? How could I have approached that in a different way? And this is just about being gentle with yourself. And do you know what? We don't have to wait until the 1st of January to sort of enact our goals or our plans or think about this stuff. Yeah, by all means, relax at Christmas, take time out, think about what you want to do, what's gone well, where you want to be this time next year, where you want to be in 5 years' time. But if you feel like starting now, start now. And the one thing I would say that as coaches, generally speaking, we do a lot of work on goals, on helping people set goals. But actually, just going back to that point, it's about who you are as much as what you do. So really think about who you are, your energy, how you're coming across to people, how authentic you're being, how motivated you are towards your goals and what you're doing. That's really going to help you with your goals, and actually reflecting and looking in a little bit in the rear view mirror rather than just the windscreen. But have a look at the rear view mirror and ask yourself those questions about, what would I do differently? What went well, what didn't go well, and celebrate successes. Very often we can be so busy, we forget to say, do you know what? This is what went well today. This is what went well this week. This is what went well this year. So really try and let go, relax, take the time to think about who you want to be, what you want to do, and start scribbling down some goals. There's never a right or wrong time to start. Don't feel pressured by resolutions. Just think about what it is you really, where you want to be, where you want to get to, and feel that kind of feeling behind it. Feel the feeling behind it. Really step into those feelings of where you want to get to and what you want to do, rather than what you feel you should be doing. Be true to yourself and take this time over the Christmas period to really step into that and just make some notes. And don't feel pressured on January the 1st to say, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. If you want to start writing goals now, that's great. But maybe, relax, take time over Christmas. And, I know this sounds like a weird thing to say because I started off saying end the year with a bang. I'm sure you're going to have lots of parties and celebrations or times with friends and family where you're going to celebrate and celebrate those relationships and people you have in your life. But actually just take that time for yourself and don't feel pressurized, into resolutions. Just sort of think about where you want to be, who you want to be, and let go of any energy where you're holding on to things that you need to let go of. So I hope that's given you some good tips about how to start thinking about what you want to be and where you want to be and who you want to be for next year. Contact me if you want any help in shaping your goals or intentions for next year.